So this is a answer to a question I saw on Facebook, which I just feel really compelled to answer because I feel like I know the answer, but I can't prove it, which was the question. How do you prove that matter is a projection of consciousness? And you can't unless you can prove it to yourself first. But in order to prove it to yourself first, you have to have one, results. You need to have data to back it up. You need to have experiences, first-hand experiences that reinforce the data that you have. And you would need to have a mind open enough that you could conceptualize and accept without a shadow of a doubt that everything you know is wrong. And then even once you've figured out how to prove it, realize that you're still wrong. But you're right at the same time. Because it's all a matter of belief, understanding, and knowing. But you can't, I look at it like this. I think about a lot of stuff, but I don't believe everything that I think. I only believe what I can't disprove. But the only things I know are the things that I've experienced firsthand. And because of that, since I'm the only one who's experienced it firsthand, means that I can't prove it to anybody else. Because that's just anecdotal. You need something tangible. You need something that, no matter who looks at it, they say, oh, shit, you were right. 2 minutes and 22 seconds. That's a world record of me getting that point out. This is like 100th take. Not that many, maybe 10. First one was like 2 hours, 2.5. I got more in detail of it, but that's the point is, and that's something that I didn't realize the first time I did the video was you need to be able to prove it to yourself first. Because if you can't prove it to yourself, then you can't prove it to anybody else. And all I did was, in that video, explain how I see it. Just because I see it that way doesn't mean that that's the only way to see it. Everyone's going to see it in a completely different way. It just happens to be that I have a really cool way of explaining it. But that 2.5 hour video is like really choppy, and there's a lot of breaks, and there's a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of just rambles. There's probably a couple of things I shouldn't have said, but to understand the concepts I put across, it's more than just memorizing them. You have to be able to visualize them and conceptualize them, because when you can do that, then you can see it in the outside world. And when you can see it in the outside world, then proving that light, that matter is a projection of thought, becomes that much easier, because you're able to think in different ways by looking at different perspectives. And when you can see different perspectives, then you can formulate new perspectives based on your old perspective, this new perspective, and the baby that you make between the two of them, which then carries you forth into going, oh, if I figured that out on my own, what else can I figure out on my own? And that's another thing, is that no one can prove to you that light, how many goddamn times am I going to say that matter is a projection of consciousness. The only thing you can do is believe it yourself. I do. So, now there's 2 of us. At least I'm just talking to the dude that asked the question. And I did it in under 5 minutes. 4 minutes and 44 seconds, actually. If you're into repeating numbers, that makes sense. Usually reminders that you're on the right track. People give them angel numbers, all a bunch of fucking meanings, which none of them are wrong. They're all right. Just it also means whatever it means to you at the time. So synchronicity. That's what Jung called them. It's actually a naturally occurring phenomenon in nature is synchronicity. It's, let me put it, they're like goalposts, checkpoints, just to remind you of whatever it reminds you of. There's no right or wrong meaning. It's whatever it means to you. It's the same thing for everything. It's the same thing with proving matter is a projection of thought. Whatever that means to you, that's what it means. Once you prove it to yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. But you can say that about anything, I guess. So, I think that's it. Another 7 minutes. We'll see if this works.